Well, in Indiana, there are a number of different types of business entities. They each serve a different purpose, and some require formal filing with the Secretary of State, where others can be formed informally. When deciding which business entity to form, there are a number of different considerations that business owners need to consider, such as how many owners do you want to have in the business? Do you want personal liability protection so only the assets that you invest in the business are at risk? Do you want a single level of taxation opposed to double level taxation that corporations have? And what are the personal income tax rates of the individual owners in the business, among other considerations? Choosing a business entity is an important decision for any business owner. It determines how your business is run, how your business can grow, and who would be liable for business debts. Now, sole proprietorships and general partnerships are easy to start, they're low cost, you don't have to do a formal filing with the Secretary of State, but your personal assets would be at risk if there were any business debts. A corporation, you would have limited liability protection, so your personal assets wouldn't be at risk, but there is double level of taxation at the entity level and the shareholder level when dividends are distributed. Limited liability companies are a very popular type of business entity because it offers the limited liability protection of a corporation, but you can also elect to have pass-through taxation where there's only one level of taxation at the individual owner level. Now you need to be careful because if the individual owners have a higher tax rate than the corporate tax rate, it might not be such an advantage to have that election of a pass-through entity taxation. To form a business in Indiana, some business entities require a formal filing with the Secretary of State, while other business entities do not. General partnerships and sole proprietorships do not require any filing with the Secretary of State and can be formed informally. On the other hand, corporations, S corporations, limited liability companies, limited partnerships, and limited liability partnerships all require a formal filing with the Secretary of State. For example, S corporations and corporations require articles of incorporation to be filed. Limited liability companies require articles of organization to be filed. Limited partnerships require a certificate of limited partnership to be filed, and limited liability partnerships require a registration to be filed with the Secretary of State. You can find more information about filing requirements by visiting the Indiana Secretary of State's website.